As SeatGeek partners, we are able to offer first-time SeatGeek users $20 off a ticket purchase. Use promo code TrueBlazerFan on the mobile app or access the link to the SeatGeek website in the description. Support our work and save $20.
So 2-0 feels pretty good. Coming out of the big opening night win against the Los Angeles Lakers, I was slightly worried the San Antonio Spurs were gonna pose a problem. After winning such an emotional game for Paul Allen, I was worried that there was going to be a letdown. San Antonio Spurs are a good team. They got two All-Stars in DeMar DeRozan and LaMarcus Aldridge. But Portland handled them easily, on their way to a 121-108 win. This is the day after recap for that win. This is Tori. Let's jump into it. This game started off with a classic deep Dame 3.
7 to shoot for Damian Lillard. Fires from way down.
Evan Turner, who had a very solid night, had two very good passes.
Defensive second team in the league, the youngest ever. On the push. Works it in on Gay. Drop pass. Aminu, wide open triple. Got another one.
And knows he has the trail post.
The Spurs, behind DeMar DeRozan, were able to keep it close, but in the third quarter, that's when Portland really started taking off. Portland had a run capped by this CJ McCollum ankle breaker.
G-League, Summer League, oh my goodness.
Up double digits entering the fourth quarter, Dame sealed the deal with a couple of very good finishes.
Ahead to Aminu. Attacks the rack. Kicks it to Lillard. Slings it inside with a right hand. Keeling to the left. Bank it in. Draws the foul. Good. Golly, missed
Shots. I don't know how he gets this one to go. Much less just he.
Lillard driving it in deep. Impossible play. He's orchestrating.
He'll turn down the screen.
Oh my God.
Leaning back.
So with that, Portland was able to take this game comfortably. It was never really in much doubt, even though San Antonio was able to keep it somewhat close throughout the first half. In a losing effort, DeMar DeRozan showed why he is still one of the best guards in the league, as he posted 28 points to go along with 9 assists. LaMarcus Aldridge didn't really do much, as he only had 12 points, 8 rebounds, and 5 assists. He was guarded pretty well throughout this game. Bryn Forbes had 17 points with 5 threes, but it just wasn't enough for the San Antonio Spurs. Portland was led by Damian Lillard, who had 29 points and 9 assists. CJ McCollum had 24 points and 2 assists. Both Dame and CJ went 9 for 15 from the field and combined for 7 threes, so that's a very efficient scoring night for both of them. Yusuf Nurkic had 12 points on 50% shooting. Al-Farouq Aminu bounced back from a bad game 1 by scoring 10 points on 3 for 5 shooting with a couple of threes. Zach Collins led the bench with 11 points on 4 for 5 shooting, and he also hit a couple of threes. Portland was very efficient, shooting 54% from the field and 47% from the three-point line. They also had very solid ball movement throughout the game, and they finished with 24 assists. Jumping into my takeaways for this game, the first takeaway I have is how well the bench played for the second night in a row. It wasn't quite the 55 points that they put up against the Lakers, but the Blazers bench still played very good in dropping 41. This is the most shooting I've ever seen from a Portland second unit, and it's made Evan Turner very, very effective. Evan Turner had 8 points, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds in 25 minutes played and shot 50% from the field. And one thing I've noticed is he has not shot a 3-point shot yet this season. Combined with players like Seth Curry, Zach Collins, even Myers Leonard hitting shots, this unit already looks to be clicking on all cylinders. The ball movement, especially from this unit, is something that I was asking for all summer. They're zipping the ball around, players are moving, they're playing fast, they're playing up tempo. It's basically everything that I wanted. Second takeaway is our defense. Even though we gave up 108 points, we held the Spurs to 42% shooting. They did shoot 43% from the three-point arc, but other than that, it was a pretty good effort from the Portland Trail Blazers. One thing I noticed that I hadn't seen in years past, the Blazers defense was actually throwing some double teams at LaMarcus Aldridge, and they were actually very, very effective. These double teams shut down LaMarcus Aldridge, and it was key to holding him to only 12 points. This is something Terry Stotts has refused to do in previous years, but it looks like he's finally evolving as a coach. There wasn't a single time where Portland got burned by double teaming LaMarcus Aldridge, and with Zach Collins in the game at center, they could kind of recover to guys that weren't their original assignment. You'd have times where Zach Collins would have to rotate over to Rudy Gay because of the double team, and that's fine. Zach Collins can guard Rudy Gay, even though Zach Collins is a center and Rudy Gay is a small forward that can score the ball. With Harkless at the 4 and Zach Collins at the 5, I do want to see Portland maybe trapping some pick and roll, as well as double teaming star players on the opposing team. Portland also got a lot of deflections, a lot in the second quarter, and they were just swarming. They just looked to have that level of energy that they need to be able to play good defense, because defense is mostly energy and effort. And Portland was leaving its heart out there on that end of the floor, and they played very solid. For a team that's been iffy on the defensive end in years past, it's very, very encouraging to see this team D'ing up. My third and final takeaway, Dame and CJ looked absolutely amazing. Due to them being in control, Dame and CJ only played 30 minutes each. So in 60 minutes total, they were able to combine for 53 points. I'll take that on any night, especially given the fact that they got those 53 points on only 30 shots. They looked like the best two players on the court out there, as DeMar DeRozan had a good game, but most of it was due to him just posting up CJ and him having the matchup advantage. Meanwhile, Dame and CJ were throwing out all types of moves. Damian's handle looked absolutely amazing, and Nate Jones, who is connected to Dame in some way, I'm not quite sure how, he said that one of Dame's biggest focuses this offseason was improving his handle, and you could see it, especially with this behind the back move on Patty Mills. If the bench is able to keep playing like that, and Dame and CJ do what they do best, Portland is going to be very, very hard to beat. But looking ahead, the Washington Wizards are going to try and do that tomorrow when they come into the Moda Center. They played yesterday as well, as they lost to the Toronto Raptors at home, 117 to 113. This is a team that's beaten Portland on game winners at the end of games a couple of times in the past 5 years. I'm sure some of you remember the infamous time where Markieff Morris, or is it Marcus Morris? I can't keep track of those two. One of them was playing for the Wizards and stepped out of bounds, and they didn't call it, and then he hit the game winner. The Wizards are 0-2 coming into the Moda Center, so they haven't started hot, so they're going to be looking for their first win, and they do have a solid team. This backcourt matchup is going to be very fun to watch. John Wall and Bradley Beal against Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum. People regularly say that Damian Lillard and CJ McCollum are the second best backcourt in the league. Most people place Wall and Beal right behind them at third. So the Portland backcourt is definitely going to need to win this matchup. Otto Porter is also one of the most underrated players in the league, and him at that small forward spot, it might pose a problem. He's a very good defender, very good shooter, and one guy that I hope to someday see in a Portland Trailblazer uniform, because he's exactly what we need at the small forward spot. Dwight Howard, who is the new starting center for the Washington Wizards, is day to day. I'm not sure what his injury is, but if he doesn't play, that's definitely going to hurt the Wizards, as they probably have to start Jan Mahinmi. So if they're starting Jan Mahinmi, Yusuf Nurkic, you got to have your first good game of the year, man. The Wizards also improved their bench this past offseason as they added Austin Rivers as well as Jeff Green. Thomas Satoransky might be one of the best players in the NBA that you've never heard of. He's a 6'7" point guard, much like Evan Turner, but he can actually shoot the ball, as he shot over 40% from 3 last year, and he can pass and he can slash. So that's a guy to keep your eye on. Overall, I think Portland wins this game by 8 or 9 points. They're just playing too well. Even though Washington improved their bench, I do expect Portland's bench to outplay them, to outshoot them. And Portland definitely has the momentum while Washington is struggling, and Portland playing at home is the deciding factor. I'm really looking forward to this game. It's going to be a good one. It would be awesome to start off 3-0 against 3 presumed playoff teams before heading out on the road against the Orlando Magic and Miami Heat. I'm not going to get ahead of myself, but this team has a legit chance of starting 5-0, maybe 6-0. I don't know. We just got to keep the wins rolling. I don't want to lose yet. So anyway, that's all I got for now. Tomorrow, we'll be coming at you with a Monday mailbag. You can leave a question down below if you want, and you might be included in that Monday mailbag. I know we didn't have a ton of questions for that, so it would be nice to get a few more. Anyway, that's all I got for now, True Blazer fans. Have an amazing day. Peace out. Go Blazers.